Okay, can I start? Welcome to episode 24 of The Fellowship. I'm your host.
4?
Yes. And by the way, new world record for interrupting me. Episode 24 of The Fellowship. We have such a great guest coming up. We'll introduce him in just a second. My name is Adam Hawk, your host. My resident guest, Ryan Engle, is here.
How the hell is everybody?
Well, they can't answer you because they're watching through a screen on YouTube.
Live to tape.
That doesn't mean anything. You're just throwing out words, throwing out jargon you hear. You want to say post-production?
Hey, players play.
Yeah, okay. Again, throwing out words. Appreciate it very much. Just like that and let me take care of the heavy lifting. So if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate it. And we don't do a good enough job of this, but if you could, and we hate to ask, just press the subscribe button. It's free for you. It's one click, and it does a world of wonder for us. In fact, recently, we achieved a milestone in YouTube. 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 subscribers. The channel is now officially monetized. And I checked today.
How much did we make?
I think you're going to be very happy to hear this. I was surprised. We have made exactly $9 on YouTube. So
that's almost Taco Bell.
Almost. And if we don't get a drink, probably Taco Bell. But if you want to help us out, just press subscribe. Let's just get this thing to $10 together, okay?
Yeah.
That's the new slogan of the show.
Well,
$10.
Unfortunately, along with that $9 comes 9% inflation. So we won't get into that.
Yeah,
but, you know.
That's another show. I do want to say a special thank you to Baywood Makery. Baywood Makery dropped off these coasters that we're using. You can't see them because they're laying flat on a table, but check this out. Smoking Tom right on this beautiful, what would you call this? What color would you call this? Slate. I heard slate from the audience. Yes.
Graphite?
Graphite. I was thinking graphite as well.
Goes with the shaft.
Yeah.
Well, your iron shafts.
Okay. I don't know anything about what you're talking about, but we do have a gearhead coming on today who can set me straight.
That was my first dig of the day.
Yeah. Well, thank you to Baywood Makery. And Patrick, if you wouldn't mind, in post-production, putting the Baywood Makery Instagram handle right here. And we appreciate these coasters. You did that in a previous episode. We were talking when we were doing the game show.
Thanks for keeping such a close tab on everything I do.
You got it.
I don't know where I'd be without you.
Let's talk about you for a second before we get to our guest. You just recently put a new/old driver back into the bag. You were very excited about this driver. You came in, you showed it to me. I think you went through a speech about how for the last 2 years you've been getting by.
I finally came to grips, and the first step is becoming honest with yourself, right?
Yeah. First step is admitting.
Admitting. And I admitted a couple things in that. One being that I have become, over the last 3 or 4 years, an absolutely horrendous driver of the golf ball. Not only is it not long, but it's not straight either. So
you were talking about driving the golf ball?
Driving the golf ball.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I still had this vision of how I used to swing with a flat belly, with speed and athletic grace. And so I was buying drivers that maybe someone a little better than I am should be buying. And I finally said, you know what? This is bullshit. And I gave myself a good, honest try at looking at what's out there today. And for me, like, performance is cool, and we need it, but it's got to be aesthetically pleasing, you know? There has to be a slight bit of bag candy factor to it, and I have to be able to just look at it at a dress and just feel really good about things, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not only just the colors and shit, but just, the way it sits and yada, yada, yada. Anyways, I just said, fuck it, man. When was I driving it good? And I went back and got this old Cleveland classic driver that I used to hit the shit out of. And it was predictable. It always had like a baby cut. I really couldn't hook it for whatever reason. I don't know. And I found one on eBay that was mint condition for $81.
Wow.
Thing came in the mail.
Yep. And
it had a special edition Miyazaki shaft. And I was like, this is interesting. You made fun of it because it looks like which it was interesting that you made fun of it because it reminded me of some of your favorite movies, Fast and the Furious. Looked like someone from Fast and the Furious tagged this thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And, it looked like the decal on the underskirt of a Honda Civic.
And the powers of the algorithms of eBay's marketplace put that shaft in front of me, and it's a limited edition Japanese artist, and that shaft sells for $500.
Wow. Excellent.
So, not that I'm going to sell it.
Yep.
You know, but I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But anyways, I took it out for the first time. I did better, and I think the club is better for me. However, that still doesn't change the old Indian or the arrow thing. I have some shit I need to work on. But the good news is I am working on it. So
Yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
And you'll have to keep the audience apprised of how this progress goes.
yeah, well, I've never been a range guy. I've never been a warm-up guy. Never been a beat balls guy. But my wife is really into the like mechanics of the golf swing. She's got that really like mind for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been going to the driving range down by our house because they have the lights on. They're open till 10. So we put the baby down. They play music, have a couple drinks, and hit it. And I've actually kind of been enjoying that because it's like more my speed.
Yeah.
You know.
Sounds good.
And it just kind of reminds you how bad you are at golf.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough.
You're like, fuck, man.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears for a second and talk about me. So today I realized...
Can't wait.
Yeah. Today I realized something very interesting. Having kids, I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. You have a 1.5-year-old about?
Roughly, yeah.
Having kids allows you to relive your childhood as an adult, and you'll experience this as Palmer gets older, but like I don't go to the grocery store. My wife does that while we're doing this. God
Would
bless
have
her
never
for-
guessed.
God bless her for it. And it's not a misogynistic thing. It's just how the roles have worked out. So I don't really keep tabs.
And you're not good at, driving, parking, using your hands.
So I don't really keep tabs on the food that comes in and out of the house, but I certainly do eat it. And it's a grab bag every time I open up the pantry. And when I opened up the pantry this morning, I saw something that I haven't seen in 25 years. And that was a box of Lucky Charms. And what's happening now is my daughter's entering the age where she likes cereal for breakfast. You're no longer doing the oatmeal, the stuff that kids can't, choke on. So now there's cereal in the house. When is the last time you had a bowl of cereal to start your day?
God. Ages.
Ages. So,
Ages.
same.
I mean, nowadays it's like there's granola in the house.
Yeah.
So every now and then you'll have like granola with milk, But it's not quite the same.
Yeah, I would say that when I opened up the pantry today, it was like walking through a time machine.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
Are the boxes still cool?
No, they're not. The leprechaun looks a lot different. He's a lot more computer animated. The marshmallows they're insane now.
Yeah.
But I couldn't wait to dive into this because 25 years since I had a bowl of Lucky Charms. And I had a bowl of Lucky Charms. And it got me thinking about my top 5 cereals of all time because now I'm going to enter this world and I can now influence the grocery store list. If I know we're going to be a cereal family again, then I can start to, write down on the list what kind of cereal we should get.
You're like a Raisin Bran guy to me.
Well, Raisin Bran, a lot of fiber. It'll get the bowels moving, if you will.
What's the other one that like is with a raisin and it's like little pebbles and it's just like
What is
remember
that?
one?
You grape nuts.
Grape nuts.
The audience participation
Grape nuts.
is fantastic.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it got me thinking, and Patrick, feel free to
That's old school,
feel
dude.
free to add some post-production into this. I want to run down my top 5 breakfast cereals 5 to 1. Are you ready? Number 5 on this list, Apple Jacks.
Apple Jacks.
Love some Apple Jacks.
Yeah.
Very, it's a sweet cereal, but not too sweet. You can have a lot of it and not feel like you're going to die. That's number 5. Number 4, Cocoa Pebbles. Cocoa Pebbles turns your milk into chocolate milk. It dunks on Fruity Pebbles. Big Cocoa Pebbles guy. Number 3, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Those are good.
Don't think you can argue with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Number 2, Reese's Puffs.
Little too new school for me, but
right?
I'll let that slide,
Yeah. A big Reese's Puffs guy. My number 1 favorite cereal of all time, and after 4 sweet cereals, you might not expect this, Honey Bunches of Oats.
That's goat territory.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
That's goat territory.
Okay, I'm glad that you agree.
Honey is the key.
To everything.
Everything else is sugar. Now that we're thinking of this, because I have my list here,
And we'll get to it, but I do want to say one thing about the Honey Bunches of Oats. I might divide the Red Sea here with Moses' staff on accident. I am not down with the Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds. I like it without. And here's why. The almond is a beautiful nut that should be as crunchy.
What?
The almond.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, look at
Like
the spelling.
Alvin and the Chickmunks? Like
Chickmunks? No, they were guys. The chipmunks were dudes. The almond sliced is an atrocity to the nut itself.
I knew that this was all coming to some horrible take. It wasn't about the cereal for the viewers at home. This is Hawk's. This was his angle. He really wanted to get this sliced almond thing off of his chest. So
and
go ahead.
But give me the
Tell
honey,
the viewers
give me
about
the honey
the
bunches of oats straight up. Give me the golden box, not the blue
What
box.
about the dehydrated strawberries? Are you down with those?
Yeah, sure. Give me some of those.
Yeah.
That went in the special cave of strawberries. Cereal.
They don't have that honey bunches? I'm sure they got variations.
Probably. Now, you've heard my list. Let's get to yours.
5? You want five up?
Yes, we want to descend in order.
5. 4 letters. Pops.
Pops.
Pops are grinds, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Pops are grinds. 4. Frosted Flakes, and we know why.
Yeah, they're great.
They're great.
Yeah.
I've got honey bunches of oats at 3.
Very good. So they cracked both of our top
and
fives.
then now we're getting into the goat territory.
Okay.
2. Frosted mini wheats.
Is that right?
Frosted mini wheats. They're like little cakes.
Yeah.
Little weedy cakes.
Sure.
That just soak up the milk. And
Yeah.
The frosted side's so dank. And then number 1 of all time. I mean, let's just cut the bullshit, cut the gimmicks. You know.
Yeah.
Like the characters, all that stuff. Although this does have a character too. Honey Nut Cheerios, number 1. Dude.
Ah, very good.
You know?
Very good.
Honey Nut Cheerios are the best. It's the best cereal overall. If you're going to be honest with yourself. Only problem with Honey Nut Cheerios is the Honey Nut Cheerios belches smell like death on earth. I don't know why that a sweet, scrumptious cereal smells so bad coming back out.
Is that right?
But it's almost like it does like a tuna fish metamorphosis.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could be in the car and be like, damn, dog, did you have Honey Nut Cheerios this morning? That smells like shit, you know?
Yes.
So
I appreciate your list. I like your list a lot. And I'm glad that we got to have this conversation. And in a couple of years, you'll be noticing more and more cereals making their way back into your pantry.
I'm going to throw one at you that's probably been canceled, maybe not for cultural appropriation, but maybe just for, like, health reasons.
Cookie Crisp?
No. Sugar Smacks.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, Sugar Smacks slaps.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
They look like little fucking peanuts cut in half, just like glazed over with, sugar's in the name.
Yes.
For crying out loud, you know?
Very good. Well, I'm happy to be back in the cereal genre. I'm excited for you to get back into it as well. And I'm excited to talk to today's guest. He is a custom club builder and restorer. He is a meme lord. He is Chris from Custom Klubs. Chris, come on down. You got applause in, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, I never clap because I know someone's going to clap for me.
Very good.
You know what I mean?
Very good.
Make yourself at home.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Brought your own vodka cranberry.
It's a Red Bull.
Okay, very good. A little Ready B. That's been a staple in our fridge for quite a while. We recently switched to the sugar-free Red Bull, because
recently we haven't bought any because we're broke right now.
times are tough.
Yeah, but when we're doing good, we're really splurging on the Walmart runs.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Well,
God,
appreciate
those
you being
smell
here.
Right? Aren't they outstanding?
What are you smoking?
These are the Jazz, the black and mild. I've been a smoker like most of my adult life, whether it was like unfiltered cigarettes or cigars. I've always had. I just have an addictive personality.
I love that about you.
You're sitting amongst two addicts.
Yeah.
I feel like we should be in a circle.
Addicts or professionals?
Adam, you're special. Ryan, you're special.
I like the word professional.
You're special.
Yes.
You know?
Let me tell you, because this is the first time we've met, let me tell you about the perception that I have of you from Instagram, and you can tell me how close the perception is to reality.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. Guy with a super smooth swing who doesn't swing hard, equipment junkie, wears short sleeve button-ups to play golf.
Yeah.
Love that style.
Thank you.
And who makes fun of a lot of people via original memes.
Yeah.
Perception is reality?
Pretty much 100%.
Excellent. Okay, well, so you are presenting yourself accurately on the internet.
It's not a character. It's man, I spent so long concerned about what people thought of me, you know, and I spent probably like the first 6 months of Instagram trying to figure out what I should be, or how to portray what I wanted to, and then I just realized I should just do that and just
be you.
yeah, stop thinking about it,
Yeah.
and just don't worry about if people like it or not. If people don't, then I would post the same if I had 500 or 500,000 followers. It wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, I love that. We're going to get into your journey and golf and everything, but because we just did have a pretty elaborate conversation on our favorite cereals, I don't need a top 5 list from you, but what is your favorite all-time cereal?
I can do a top 5.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's do it, baby!
I've already done that before.
Yeah. I would say Frosted Flakes, number 5, because it's just solid. You can pick it anytime.
God, it's so good.
It is so good.
So
man.
good.
I would say like Honey Smacks, which I think is like a kind of
yeah. The
of
original
that.
was sugar, and then
Yeah.
I think they changed to honey because sugar was a bit abrasive.
like the Honey Smack with the frog on the
Yeah, it's
on
like the
front.
pissed off frog.
And then when I was a kid, my mom never wanted to buy like the name brand cereal. We bought like the 10-pound pack or whatever.
Yeah, the one that looked like it.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that looked like it but wasn't. And
Yeah.
I will argue with anyone that
That it's better.
those frosted mini wheats are better than
the
one.
regular ones.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, so I would argue that. And then I'll say Honey Nut Cheerios right up there. I even like the standard Cheerios too.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too, in
yeah.
a weird way.
Yeah, I mean like bananas in there or something to kind of, you know.
Or just a couple spoonfuls of sugar.
Yeah, man, whatever.
You've given us 4. We're down to your number 1.
I would say my number 1 favorite cereal. I think I'm gonna have to go with the goat of Honey Bunches of Oats.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I
sure.
mean, that's totally. I feel like the top 3 could just be ever changing. You know what I mean?
Just rotate them in and out, and you can't
Because
go
if
wrong.
you're really a cereal connoisseur or you're really buying one, you're probably going to get 2 or 3 boxes and alternate.
I mean,
You
I
know what
could
I mean?
flop in Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Couldn't
Yeah.
you though?
Yeah, or even that French Toast Crunch.
Oh,
They had that?
give me
That
a
was
break.
Fucking sinful.
And you know how all these hipster like yogurt shops now, you can put like those
Yeah.
sugary cereals on top and stuff. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very
I
nice.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
about
I
the
do too.
hipster shops.
You do have quite an extensive and very interesting story in the game of golf,
Yeah.
and it started young.
Yeah.
So I do kind of want to tell that entire story, but let's just tell it in bits and pieces. Start with the beginning. How did you get started in golf, and what did that look like for you?
One of my aunts, I come from a very large family on my mom's side, so 11 kids.
Wow.
And my mom was in school a lot. My mom has 4 college degrees, so
Wow.
yeah.
Nice.
What a fucking loser, right? Anyways, so my mom has like 4 colleges. She's got an administrator's degree, a master's degree, a BA, a business degree.
Good for her.
Right. So she's a 25-year teacher. So she wasn't really home a lot when I was a kid. She was in school, but luckily I was raised by like my grandparents and my aunts too. So one of my aunts just bought me like a plastic set and noticed that I kind of had a natural ability to hit the ball straight. And
You can give that shit up. Focus
Focus
on
on
golf.
golf. Yeah. So I've never like swung, like another kind of like apparatus. I've never swung really like a baseball bat or
Yeah.
like
Like
So-
a tennis racket, yeah.
no. I mean like it just as a kid, maybe in PE or something, but never competitively. The only sport I've ever played is golf. So I started at 3 with my first little sweet set of pin seekers. Bitch, I still have them.
Nice.
I still have them. And from there, I started competitively about 11, 12, or 13, can't really remember which, 7th grade-ish. And I was never really great. I had 2 really great seasons in high school and 2 really terrible seasons in high school. I'm starting to think that the second poor season was because of marijuana.
Marijuana pot.
Yes.
For the viewers at home.
How many pots have you smoked?
Yeah.
I smoked a lot of pots then.
You smoked a lot of marijuana pot.
I did,
And
it didn't do my golf game any justice at all. Now it does.
weed knocked you out of a good high school season.
Yeah.
What happened after high school with golf?
So I tried to do a little bit of the USGA amateur here in the Southern California region. I was like 3 or 4 tournaments in. I think I had carded.
Aren't those tournaments boring as
Dude,
hell?
I think I had carded like a 79, an 83, an 86, and like an 89.
Yeah.
And I was on like my 4th round at Lakewood, right over there in Long Beach. I was on like the 14th hole. I had just tripled 13 and doubled the hole before.
Feeling good.
Dude, like I looked over at my bag and I was like, I just walked off.
Yeah, I quit.
Yeah, I walked off and I was already in a trade. I was already working for a Irvine.
Competitive golf will
It just drained me.
It will break whatever spirits you have left.
It was a really humbling experience,
Yeah.
and I honestly think that I needed it because I was such a competitive high school golfer, and then once I realized how terrible I was actually on the grand scheme of things, I just realized I couldn't put it all together at once.
Yeah.
You know, I would hit great shots, you know, and I would be even through 11, and then my blow-up holes were just so terrible that I just couldn't continue to string shots together mentally. It was hard to stand over it and not expect the worst, I guess.
A testament to the game, though, is it's a lifelong
Definitely
pursuit. Right?
I always knew that I would come back to it.
Exactly. That's why sometimes, you know, if you get a little off the rails, it's good to take a little break.
That smells phenomenal.
Yeah. Free Cuba.
Free 'em.
Free.
Yeah.
I've told many people, you are not a golfer unless you've quit the game 2 or 3 times.
Oh man, I think
I'm Brett Favre with golf. Just retire, come back, retire, come
Without
back.
the dick pics, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
oh man. I think once I went to an industrial trade, I really became like a weekend warrior again, and
Fell
really
in love with it.
But I fell in love with the dishonesty of it. I wasn't honest with myself at that time. I still thought that I had the mustard of a low handicap high school competitive golfer. But really what I was doing was just not counting everything and still coming out okay.
Fudging
You know,
the numbers.
and so I actually played with just one of my friends, Joel, who's like probably a 12 or a 13 or 14 handicap. And he looked at my scorecard at the end of it, and he was like, I just wanted you to know that I took your score, and this is the difference. And it was a difference of like 7 or 8 strokes. And he was like, you're not being honest with yourself.
Wow.
And it takes, if you want to be where you were, you know, it's not like you don't have the mustard seed in you, it's just not ground up yet.
Yeah.
You just...
Wow, great analogy there.
You know, thank you. Yeah. And you just don't have the salt until you earn it, you know? And I just feel like I needed to earn it again, really come back down and be honest with myself and humble myself.
When Joel did this to you, when he called you, I wouldn't say called you up, but say, hey, here's what you're
Sounded
taking.
like he did it in a really gentlemanlike way. Did he?
He's a really straight up.
That's awesome.
So, I was going to ask, you know, when someone says, here's what you're taking and here's what you're really, you know, carding, how did you receive that?
I've always taken constructive criticism really well. So to me, I took that as someone who honestly cared about...
Good for you.
Yeah, I took that as someone who honestly cared about the way I felt about golf and my relationship with golf, which, to be completely honest, wasn't as healthy as it could be.
Right.
So I really feel like that was instrumental and vital to me, you know, sitting in front of you as an honest 8.5, 9 handicap.
So now we're post high school. We're post you trying to play on USGA qualifiers and all that stuff, and now you've been called out in a constructive way. You take it really well, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to become honest with the game. What happened then?
Man, I probably carded like 14 or 15 rounds as plus 12, plus 14, plus 15, plus 16. I mean, hell, just as of recently, like Goose Creek, I think I shot a 90. You know? There are just days like that where I don't try and make any drastic changes on the course. I'll just card the round and take it. I'll take my notes of what I can, you know, what went wrong and where, and you know, just try and come back from that constructively. I don't really think that making crazy changes on the golf course to improve, you know, how you feel on the drive home it's not healthy for you. You know, like you should just understand that when you're plus 7 through 9, that your day is just going to be a plus 13 day, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to shoot, you know, low every time.
Right.
There's no such thing. That's what's so great about it.
I've gotten to a place now where it's like, in the moment, I'll be maybe not as good of a version of myself, but I won't bring the people down around me, but I'll definitely, like, you know, tighten up a little bit and be somewhat discouraged.
Sure.
But I just look at it like, I just split it up in the 9s now. So it's like, I'm trying to survive the front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
And
the other
hopefully you
day
clean it up on the back.
I was 4 over,
Yeah.
4 over through the first 4, and it was kind of like a couple squirrely shots, but a couple bad breaks, but it's just like, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Once the fucking ball starts rolling down the hill, you're like, oh my God, I'm trying so hard right now.
Yeah.
Like pars feel like eagles.
I think a part of it is that I stopped trying so much.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, I think, is just maturity in the game and being a lifelong golfer, I think that you see so many different sides of your game and so many periods of up and so many periods of down that I think once you've seen 3 ups and 3 downs, you pretty much just accept that this is just the way that the game is. And
Yeah, it's a game.
I mean, like if you want to compare yourself to a great, you know, like if you look at, you know, Tiger, who didn't miss, you know, 1 cut, I think like 146 cuts or something like that.
Yeah.
Something outrageous and egregious like that, but then also didn't win anything for 10 years.
Yeah.
So
There's that stat
Totally.
too.
It's a great point.
There was that stat too when he was, you know, at the peak there. You can borrow that when you're done. Something about 3-foot putts, and it was like, I can't remember the stat exactly, but it was astronomical.
Yeah.
Like the last in professional tournament play, 3-footer that he missed. You know.
it's better to not say the stat and just say how impressive it is.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But it was just like, I remember it going like, whoa, you know, like that's
Very impressive.
because he's for decades he's picked and chosen his schedule, and he's not picking the fucking rinky-dink 30 under a week tournaments. You know, they're WGCs, you know,
10
big-
under
big-
for 4 rounds.
right?
you
They're
know.
they're big events,
Hard
you know,
golf courses, hard
Oakmont,
tracks. Yeah.
places like that, where you're like, this guy's, you know, whapping 3-footers in under pressure, biggest crowds, you know.
And 3-footers look like 8-footers when you're standing behind.
Yeah.
You know, and that's impressive. That's just a zone that's
It's
the
a
likes
it's a
of-
level of focus that almost no one can really attain.
yeah
Yeah,
Yeah.
For sure.
totally.
yeah.
So, which came first? Learning how to build clubs or the accident that you had?
I learned how to build clubs in high school at my coach's shop.
Okay.
He was cool enough. He knew that like my mom was a single teacher, so he gave her some like unbelievably low rate for my lessons for the week, which was just not the case, knowing that we already had an agreement that I would come in and you know, clean the bathrooms and do regrips and vacuum the floors at the end of the day,
Yeah.
so that I could get my lessons from
Yeah.
my coach Fred, who was just he was like at the time probably in his early 70s and as full of piss and vinegar as anyone could be.
Love an old guy full of P and V.
He played like 7 clubs, and I don't think I ever saw him shoot above 76.
Amazing.
He was just I think his lowest putt round was like 21 putts, and he played with a Titleist bullseye. I mean, just
Sweet.
I mean, just as cool and salty as you could be, as mean as ever. Didn't care about your feelings at all.
Yep.
And
It's sad to think that those guys
are kind of a
gone.
thing of the past. Yeah.
They're gone. These kids nowadays will never experience a guy like that.
When you know, like when I would card, you know, like a plus 80 round, you know, he would simply say like all of that was mental retardation.
Yeah.
You know, not a single bit of that was golf club equipment or
It's
you
you.
know,
Yeah.
you are stupid. And I mean, you have to appreciate the honesty. You know,
Yeah.
like you're a stupid kid. You know nothing. You're overly confident.
Yeah.
And you step over shots like you can shape the ball both ways, but you're not good enough to shape the ball both ways. You barely got here today.
Right.
You know, like you barely got to the golf shop to hit balls today. You know, like you can't go out on the course and shape the ball both ways and
Yeah.
just hope that it's going to go okay. You're handsy, you're stupid, you're young, and none of those positions are cement yet. You haven't been doing it long enough.
Right. What's interesting, the through line in this conversation so far is honesty. The honesty that your golf coach brought to you at a young age, the honesty that your friend Joel brought to you and saying this is what you're really carding, and then the honesty you mentioned at the top of the interview of, I just got to be myself on Instagram. And so it seems like honesty has been a big part of your life, and from an early age, and something that's important for you to have a realistic expectation of what you were supposed to be inside of this game.
Absolutely, man. And
He's good, isn't he?
he is, man. Very insightful.
Thank you.
Very eloquently spoken, also. I mean, it's so refreshing
Yeah.
to sit in a space where
Well, kudos to you, because it's not easy to take those criticisms.
it's not.
You
You,
know,
you
and-
have
and-
to
and you-
understand that they mean it
Yeah.
as not that I'm trying to offend you, as that I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make you more mature and
Yeah.
understand that the constructive criticisms that you receive now are going to be a lot nicer than the not constructive criticisms that you receive.
Reminds
when
me
you're
a
big on
lot
Instagram.
of mine
Yep.
and Adam's relationship right now.
Is that right?
You know, He's not. He could take a page out of your book and take my criticisms a lot better, I think.
I have a lot of friends like that.
Yeah, when you were mentioning your golf coach, Fred, who just calls people
And
mental.
moving on.
Yeah.
You guys would get along really, really well.
Oh, an old guy that's mad at the world? Yeah, of course you'd get along with that guy. Yeah.
And I'm proud to be an American.
But, okay, so let's talk about the accident.
Yeah, man.
Because that
Really
changed everything
unfortunate.
for you.
Yeah, sure did.
What year and what happened?
That would have been like 2015 or 2016. I was on my way from Huntington Beach to Santa Fe Springs, where I worked. When I crashed, it was just some asshole who decided he needed to be in my lane.
You're on a bike?
Yeah. So he just decided he needed to be in my lane, and I was looking at his driver fender or a city bus on the other side. So I was like, I pretty much just like elect the pavement. So I just grabbed both the brakes and just dumped it. And when I dumped it, every bit of that just went straight to the inside of my left knee. So that was the first point of contact, and it like pushed my knee up into my chest, and that ripped my hip flexor. And then just the impact with the ground and the bike landing on top of it fractured my ankle and I think my foot too. But
And so you walked it off, went to work.
I jumped back on the bike and I rode the rest of the 9 miles to work.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
When I got to work, I
It's
realized...
like shooting a bear.
Yeah. So like when I got to work, I realized like when I touched my legs that it all felt like pins and needles, and I noticed that I peed myself a little bit. So I'll be candid with people here.
Yep.
I had peed myself.
You're allowed to piss yourself when you have to lay down a bike.
Yeah. So I pissed myself, and I realized like, okay, this isn't...
I gotta go.
Yeah, this isn't some kind of just fluke. This is bad. And so when I went to the doctor, the lady looked at me and she was like, and then she just like turned around without saying anything, went and got a wheelchair, and was like, that's okay. You know, I'll hobble back there.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a manly thing or anything. I just didn't want it to cost extra.
Yeah.
So when they took me back there, they were like, your meniscus is not there. It's non-existent. It's not that it's torn. It's not that it's ripped. It's that it's not there.
Yeah.
Your patella is completely flat, and it's going to affect the way that your knee interacts with your quad muscles. And I just asked him, I was like, well, do you think I'll be able to like swing a golf club like normally again? And they were like, sir, you're concerned about swinging a golf club right now?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's what I do Saturdays and Sundays. So I would like to know if it's, And they were like, well, probably not normally. You'll probably never swing a golf club normally or consistently again. And I was like, we'll see. It took probably like a year to hit a bucket of balls again.
Really?
Yeah. Like to be able to like stand there and do weight transfer. It took about a year to be able to like hit a whole bucket of balls.
And what's your mindset when this is happening? This is a long, hard, depressing road back.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about quitting, or are you motivated by, I'm going to prove the doctors wrong and I'm going to get back
honestly, I didn't really have any of those mindsets. It was more about I just wanted to be mobile again and not walk funny with a hitch. I wanted to be able to walk up and down stairs without feeling like the lateral control of my leg is just going to give out on me, because that was the thing. If I put weight solely on that leg, the hip and the knee would be out of alignment, and so it would feel like everything was just going to give out. So that was a problem in the golf swing. And then I did some physical therapy for a while. I went and saw an occupational therapist for a minute. And the difference between an occupational therapist and a physical therapist is a physical therapist you kind of have to go see again. But an occupational therapist gives you like exercises that you can do on your own that make you avoid coming back to see a physical therapist. So basically I did this really cool thing that I didn't know would help my golf game, but she told me, stand on one leg whenever you get the chance. Stand on your left leg. If you're standing in line at the supermarket, stand on it. If you're cooking, stand on one leg. Yeah. And, work the muscles back and forth until you have more lateral control.
Interesting.
And that was really instrumental and very helpful for me. That small little tidbit, I think, was pretty much the key to being able to swing a golf club normally again. Nice. Now I deal with early extension because I don't have a lot of power in transition. So I get lot of my power from developing a lot of lag and releasing the club early, so that it whips through the ball. And so that's why I still get it out over 300. The only problem is that I'm handsy. So while my hands are really strong and very well timed, it's got its downside.
get streaky.
Yeah,
but,
as far as I'm concerned, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's
100%.
better than not swinging,
Yeah,
and
I'll
the
take
fact
it.
you're moving at 300 yards. I am also very handsy, and we've developed a slogan for my game: slappy, crappy, and happy.
Ouch.
Yeah, but you know, if you just learn to live with it, and
Yeah. But if you can develop more power in transition,
Yeah.
and I assume that you have early extension because of your left wrist position. That's like most people.
probably.
Most people struggle if their left wrist was in a better position. They wouldn't be so handsy because
Yeah.
it forces your body to be
Well,
more synchronized.
ironically, Adam's been in transition for quite a long time.
It's hard, man. It's grip
Yeah.
and wrist position at the top are like probably two of the most difficult things to change in a golf swing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that. And while Ryan is cracking himself up, I am listening.
If you can't make yourself laugh,
Yeah.
who can you make laugh?
Yeah, man.
Well, you are down to just yourself at this point. So,
I just don't want to be rude.
yeah. I appreciate that. You have a very successful Instagram handle, Custom Klubs.
Yeah.
Custom_Klubs with a K, if anyone wants to check it out.
Yeah.
You know, you've amassed a 5-digit following, which is not easy to do.
It's not.
Yeah, that takes a lot.
It does.
You got to put a lot of content out there. You got to weather a lot of storms. You got to hit the algorithm.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But your business is restoring and building custom clubs. How did this business come to be? How did you decide? Okay, I'm going into golf equipment now.
So
By myself.
After I worked for an engineering firm for a few years, and I got tired of like being a kind of a lackey and kind of a do-it-all.
Yeah.
I wanted to be more focused and specialized, so I decided I would pick a career in sewer turbines and pumps. So, because it paid really well for the hazard and stuff, and I have a pretty strong stomach, so I figured, what the hell. I had a few fears, ladders and depths and heights and stuff, so
Yeah.
that was great to overcome those two.
Wow.
But at the beginning of COVID, being a city and county contractor, the company had to downsize and look out for itself. And me, I was kind of a heavy piece of fat to trim. I was making good money there, and being a specialist, I did pretty well. Hazard pay was pretty prominent in what I
Yeah.
did.
Uh-huh.
So the company, we kind of came to a little agreement. And
Little severance, we're talking.
yeah, it
All
was
right.
it was a nice little chunk, and
Love it.
They were really great to me from beginning to end. I have nothing against them at all. They did me a huge favor, to be honest.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them, I would be climbing down a 60-foot sewer right now and not sitting on a couch talking to you guys.
Nice.
So when they laid me off at the beginning of COVID, I had a 2-week-old infant, and that was pretty terrifying. My wife had just had her, so she was on disability too. So money was not, or I guess call it paternity pay or
Whatever it's
whatever.
called,
Yeah.
yeah.
So after a few months of kind of like sitting around and kind of considering what I was going to do with my free time for occupational purpose, yada yada, in unrelated events, I had bought a set of Mizunos, just the heads, and got a set of shafts on eBay and some nice grips, and I threw them together. I went to the driving range and I sold them out of my golf bag. So
How did that happen?
he walked up to me and he said, "Dude, I've never seen golf clubs like this. Like I've only ever seen them, with steel shafts and black grips and black ferrules. I've never seen this kind of, like color combination and shaft combination. They feel great." I let him hit a few, and he was like, "Would you let me buy these? I've been in the market for golf clubs," and I was just kind of.
Yeah.
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 Fuck yeah, you can
All
buy
of a sudden,
'em.
you're
Yeah.
Dr. Dre selling tapes out of the trunk.
I
of
was
your-
like, if I can pedal golf clubs to this,
Yeah.
to this guy at the driving range,
Yeah.
Without even trying.
yeah, I can definitely I can probably do something with this. And so I just started building on literally a plastic table just like that, and just stuck a vise down to it and started doing my own regrips and stuff like that. And then I kind of, when we moved, we have a 4-car garage, so I got
Nice humble brag.
Yeah.
4 cars. What,
It's in
got
Riverside,
Your boat
man.
on the side too.
Yeah,
It's in Riverside.
Yeah.
Great meth in
Yeah.
Riverside, by the way. Some of my favorites.
It's probably blue.
Very good.
So, I put up a nice machine table and a drill press with a radial axis arm and stuff, and a belt sander, all the things that I would need to really recondition golf clubs. And no fancy tooling. I don't have any laser leveling. I don't have any frequency
Old
equipment.
school.
Yeah. So when Instagram came around, I had posted, like, I didn't really have like an Instagram at first. I was just kind of building golf clubs, going to the driving range and kind of offloading them that way. And when I realized that there might be more of like a Instagram market, I made one. And after like 6 months, I probably had 500 followers or something. And then nonchalantly, I posted a reel of just me smashing a 2-iron somewhere out into the darkness.
Yeah.
And that got like 400,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah. And overnight, I woke up the next day at like 5,000 followers.
Crazy how that happens. Yeah.
And
that's funny because I spent my entire high school just like hitting 2-irons right up the center. They called me Mr. 2-iron. Unfortunately, Instagram wasn't available back then, so I didn't get to pick up any followers.
Adam, you've never owned a 2-iron.
so I
Mr. 2-iron.
Yeah, by the way, that I would like people to start calling me that because I've missed it. I've missed being called Mr. 2-iron.
Yeah.
I'll definitely recognize you as that from now on.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
doubt, dude.
Yep.
So yeah, then I just kind of decided to keep that trend going, and in a few months I had 10K, and then I dealt with some shadow banning on Instagram because of my memes and my happenings and
I
whatnot.
did introduce you as a meme lord.
Yeah, it gets me in trouble sometimes, but it's worth it.
Now, where do your opinions? Are you a generally very opinionated person?
No, I'm a very neutral person, but I would say my most opinionated topic is not being opinionated. I would say that I'm kind of like the antithesis. Like I'm a very neutral party. I just think it's really funny how butthurt people get when you call them on their shit.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I like the hybrid irons and stuff, and like the white pants if you're not a 5 handicap. Like, I don't fucking care what you wear to the golf course, bro. Like, wear whatever the fuck
But
you
it's
want.
fun to make
But
fun
it's
of.
funny to make fun,
That's
like,
where we are, and people are like, you guys shouldn't say stuff about what people wear, and it's like, we're fucking joking.
Dude, wear whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Dude. I don't care. So, that the whole like poking fun at just random demographics of golfers and people just kind of.
Well, there's so many kooky golfers.
Yeah,
out
there are, man.
There's so many. I mean,
it's such
you cannot go to any course, country club or muni, and not get out of your car, pull your bag out of the trunk, and look around and go, "Wow,
see some Ricky Flower
some
guy
really
over
good.
there,
There's some really good people watching today, huh? You know what I mean? Like,
The good
there's
news
some
is-
kooky golfers.
man.
You know where you're at now because everyone's got a hat that says it in big block letters.
Yeah.
Sure.
Muni, Rib, the Wick, and you're like, dude, this is like an FBI hat that they sell down at Venice Beach,
Dude, for sure.
and you are 55 years old.
Yeah.
Man.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Are they paying you to wear that monstrosity?
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's my other poke fun is like people that go to their local $40 municipal golf course and they're dressed in $500 of Adidas gear.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, like in my opinion, you look like a Russian guy in a tracksuit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like- But it's just that's the kind of fun that I like to poke at people, and I don't fucking care what you wear to the golf course, man. I care more about you fixing your ball marks and
Preach.
fix your ball marks, fill your divots, rake the sand. Just
And hurry up.
Yeah, dude, and just move it along because I've played with guys that shoot 104 and I've played with guys that shoot 68. And
So you've played with Ryan and me.
that would be a fun threesome.
That would. It would be fun. And while you're on the subject of fixing ball marks, Patrick,
thank you,
let's get a little zoom in on this. Is that possible? Am I asking for things that can't be done?
Yeah.
Chris, you made this beautiful divot repair tool.
Yeah, man.
Solid brass.
Yes, sir.
Ryan has one there as well.
Yeah.
These are awesome.
Yeah, handmade.
These will hurry someone up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They're a multi-purpose tool.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're for stabbing, they're for smoking, they're for
Yeah.
fixing your ball marks, they're for piercing your cigar.
Yeah.
They're for a lot of different things.
That's great. And
Yeah.
unlike other 6-way divot repair tools, you don't need to market that as much as they do.
No.
You just say, figure it out.
Yes, sir.
Which I like.
And while they are more expensive than what you buy on Amazon or whatever, they actually fix the ground better than a ball marker with 2 prongs.
I feel that because this aerates.
That's why I
right?
still use a T most of the
Yeah.
time. Because I just...
It's fast, man.
Yeah.
It's fast, it looks clean, it's
Yeah.
pretty. And this is basically just me stealing a design of a T and then putting a brass handle on it.
How
It's,
about that?
And I have a new generation of these that are going to be coming out in the next few months of a variance of this, but it'll be a little bit more expensive. It'll be a little bit more of like a classy, gentleman's pocket piece than anything.
I hate to put you on the spot. We can edit it out if we need to. That's the glory of what Engle mentioned earlier, live to tape. He just kind of had a Tourette's episode and blurted that out, but now it works because we can edit this if you need to.
Tourette's.
Are you bankrolling everything right now off of golf clubs?
Bankrolling? You mean
is this
paying taxes?
No. Is this your thing?
Yeah, man. This is my full time.
God bless you. How awesome is that? So you get laid off, you go to the driving range, you sell something, and now you are the father of two and making a good, honest living.
Yeah, building golf clubs.
That's
and
so
tools
cool.
and
Good for
putters.
you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
It's been a weird. I think a lot of it has to do with you again willing to be honest with yourself and like really sit back and like weigh your pros and cons. Like, do I want to go back and work for a water district and make $40 an hour and work 50 hours a week?
Yeah.
Or do I want to make $1,000, $1,000 a month and work 3 nights a week for a few hours?
right.
And build some amazing things that I have pretty much complete creative freedom over.
How cool is that? So you're your own boss at a time where, how cool is it to be your own boss?
Yeah.
Two kids, we know that's not easy.
With unlimited potential.
Yes.
Yeah. And my wife makes a good living as a nurse practitioner. So money isn't necessarily the biggest thing for me. It's more about I could pay someone to take care of my kids, or I could do it myself and know that I'm doing a better job, and I can introduce them to golf at a younger age and
Amen.
get them off of the internet and from watching stereotypical TV.
Yeah.
I see something different for my kids than necessarily what I had.
Yeah.
Because I had both kind of sectors of it. I had a lot of freedom where I experimented and did things that I don't want my kids to do.
Yeah.
And if I had been more dedicated to golf, I probably just would have been doing those things at the golf course while getting better at golf.
Yeah.
Because I was still always doing things that I shouldn't be doing. It's just whether or not I was at the golf course practicing doing them, or whether I was in a shady spot doing them where I shouldn't behind an Albertsons. So
Love Burt's. Great produce section.
yeah. Meat section, not so much.
No.
No.
I go to Stater Brothers for
Same.
my meats. Yeah. And as Stater Brothers will tell you in their slogan, our meat made us famous.
Yeah, that's true. Everyday low prices.
So did Wilt Chamberlain.
This has been such a fun and refreshing conversation. I feel like you are very like-minded to us.
Yes, sir.
We absolutely adore the game of golf, and I think there's maybe a little perception out there that we don't because we've gone after the people that are in the space, but we're not going after the game. We love the game.
But the people that are the people that have an issue with the shrink the game mindset, it's because they came after and they played golf when it was cool and when it was a trend.
They
when
have
it was a
nothing to
fad.
hold on to.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
you're welcome. I think that if you played golf when it wasn't fucking cool, like I did, like you did, it wasn't. There weren't girls fucking lining up to handle all of the golfers on our high school team, bro. I wore a mock neck, and my pleats were as big as me.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing of more social detriment than being 6'3", 190 pounds, acne covered, squeaky voice, wearing a turtleneck to fucking your third period English class.
Yeah.
Right.
There was no social escape from that, and now if you play golf, you're just a part of kind of the newer introduction to golf, which the last 3 years has been really
insane.
It's been great though. It's been great for the game. It's been great for my business.
There's positives for it. Hey.
For sure. There's negatives too.
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt. And I feel like the more I want 85% of the golfers that are here to stay, and I want the 15% of gatekeepers and guys that can't seem to figure out their ego in golf and
Barstool.
yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah, we're not even going to give them
Please
limelight.
don't.
I just the pizza reviews thing
yeah.
really.
Check out our new transfusion can.
Yeah.
Cheese pizza.
It's grape juice and vodka.
Fucking kill me.
Cool.
Dude. Kill Definitely.
It's the new drink of golf.
Find me the most comfortable place of road to lay down on.
Yeah, and then run me
Jesus
over
fucking
repeatedly.
Christ.
Yeah.
I just there's a sector of golf that I think we can all agree
Yeah.
that we just want to ignore,
Yeah.
and it will go back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do think that the people who are here to stay will stay,
Yeah.
and the people who are doing it because it's what they can do right now.
As much as we want to include everyone, and in all honesty, we do. You know what I mean? Like,
Anyone can go
I'm
online and
welcoming
buy
to
your
it.
shirt,
Yeah.
dry
But
clean only, but
that-
everyone can
that-
go online and
yeah.
buy your shirt.
the point is that golf is not only expensive.
They can buy a T-shirt right now. Is that still 50%?
Yeah,
It is
50% off
50% off.
Yeah.
By the time this
While
airs,
supplies
that'll
last.
be long gone.
While supplies last. But golf is not only expensive, it's very time consuming.
It is,
But most importantly, it's extremely difficult.
and very frustrating.
And it takes an enormous amount of mental fortitude and
maturity.
and being willing to suck.
Yeah, man,
And
because you're gonna
accepting
have to.
You
Yeah.
know, and
You're gonna have to.
and not only that, I think the most important part about all this thing, and it's why we're going to see so many of this boom golf area drop off, is that everything's pointing towards this selfish experience right now.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
your swing speed, it's your
Absolutely.
this, it's your that, and at the end of the day, if you have a guy who's a new golfer who's excited, he's here on the boom, he's buying everything everyone's selling, and he's playing with his close friends, because all you really have is your community in life, right?
Yeah.
And you're playing with your close friends. If you're going to be the selfish guy, as time goes on, those close friends, they're not going to want to play with you anymore.
Absolutely.
And that selfish guy is going to have a hard time going to these courses and getting paired up with randoms
Yeah.
and dealing with that. And eventually he's going to either have to change his ways or her ways or
Quit.
quit,
Yep.
you know. And we're going to see a fall off in a number of different categories. And that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me at all.
We
What
have a friend's birthday this weekend, and we wanted to plan a little brunch, maybe a little game ahead of time or something. So I was even looking at some of the executive courses, like, hey, let's go play 9 in the morning, roll into brunch, have a nice day and stuff.
Drink
and
some
we got
mimosas.
we got this idea like a week in advance. Not a chance.
Really.
All the tea times.
Couldn't book a goddamn
Wow.
golf course.
You know, man, if you come out towards me, though,
There's some spots.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's some spots.
Yeah.
But I mean, like locally speaking,
Around
you
here,
know,
I bet
it's
it's
an
smashed.
issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
And,
really
and
frustrating.
not only that, I had a friend come in here who's a member at Aliso Country Club. And he just moved back to Michigan, so he has this like partnering membership, yada yada yada. And he's like, I just couldn't take it anymore. I still come out here occasionally, consult for the company I used to work for, but I moved back to Michigan because it's like at the club out there, you roll in. There are no tee times. It's just like, let me know when you're ready. We'll get you out.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like here, it's like I had to be at 6 a.m. at my own course that I'm paying dues at.
7 days ahead, right when it goes online.
That's ridiculous.
Man.
And that's
really
just
hard
ridiculous.
that's really hard to stomach.
That's
And
it's ridiculous.
a lot, and I think what really upsets me about it is that they're not getting as much as, you know, someone who really cherishes
Absolutely.
their 18 holes and, you know, their 4.5 to 5 hours in
Right.
the greatest place on earth.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to realistic expectations. You know, understanding that if you're upset with golf, it's because you don't practice. And
Yeah.
if you suck at putting, it's because you don't practice. And
Yep.
if you go to the driving range often, but you only hit, you know, 30 driver balls, it's probably not going to help you because I hit, you know, maybe 6 or 7 drivers around,
Correct.
maybe.
Correct.
And I just feel like people's priorities are a little bit back-asswards, and hopefully during this drop-off and period of frustration that I know people are experiencing right now, yeah, the same people that talk shit about us in high school, you know, those very same people who said, oh, you're a stupid golfer, you're a stupid golf bag. Well, you know, now you're not in the NFL. Your knees are fucked up.
Yep. Yeah.
And you are at the range with a Strata box set asking me for advice on Instagram.
There you go.
And Becky didn't turn out to
No,
be the girl
she
that we thought
didn't.
she would
She
be.
was
you know,
heavy, huh?
So
Yeah.
She gained a little weight.
She sure did.
She did. She gained a little weight. You know,
Yeah.
you didn't stick out for the right, for the right one.
Yeah.
You just got all hot and bothered
Yeah.
about it and jumped right in.
yeah.
I love it. Again, one of the most refreshing conversations I think we've ever had on this show. That was super fun, and
Thank you guys
appreciate
for
it very
having me.
much. Yeah, that was the best. And let's see. Where did
Oh God, I handed Adam something.
Here,
and
you
he almost got rid of it.
You got the angle on the lapel.
See how
Let's
I'm
get
using
this
this
man
right here?
let's get this man a smoking Tom.
Welcome to the club, my friend.
Thank you,
So I
Chris.
try not to stab you. Try to stab myself.
Hey man, I'm sure you stabbed yourself.
Yeah,
with
I
mine.
know. You're officially in.
Thank you, sir.
Brett,
Thank you
That was
guys.
so much fun.
Thank
Yeah.
you guys, man.
Cheers,
Thank you for
Chris.
having me.
What a conversation.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Shout out to Young Bowski, who
Hey.
told us Chris was a great
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
You were right, Young
Yeah,
Bowski.
Youngowski's been right more often than not.
Bowski is he's a purveyor of good vibes.
He really
sure
He's
is.
a purveyor of
Yeah.
golf and the kind of
I love-
attitude that we want.
Love the
towards
positive flows from that guy. It's really, really refreshing. So, thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching. Go follow Chris at Custom Klubs, custom_clubs with a K.
Yes.
And you will be very entertained. Sweetest swing in golf Instagram history. Sorry, Dave.
Thank
Fink.
Dave Fink's got some great tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure does.
He's got some great tips.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Thank
Good job,
you guys.
boys.